Good morning, Asbury, and welcome to Newswatch 3, Asbury's very own weekly news show.
We are so excited to be bringing you your campus news and updates every Tuesday.
I'm Addie Smith.
And I'm Rachel Law, and this afternoon we are taking a look at construction on campus, a recent student event, your sports news, and some top national stories.
As the spring semester begins, the construction on the Student Center continues.
Delays have extended the initial opening, leaving many students with questions.
Rachel went out to find out more about what students are doing without the STUS in today's top story.
As the weather gets drearier and construction on their student center continues, Asbury University students still find places to connect with peers. Supply chain issues have pushed construction back for months, and students have gone without a student center for just over a year. The student-run on-campus coffee shop, The Hiccup, finds itself being the most common place for friends to mingle over a signature vanilla latte. The current location, being in the library, has had both its pros and cons, but students are ready for a newly renovated space dedicated to the coffee shop.
This is where I normally hang out because the STUS isn't open. I hang out right on this couch, right next to The Hiccup, because it's kind of out of the way of everything, but then it's so close and I can see all my friends as they come up the stairs. And just say hey, but still get work done.
Another common space, the Bistro, also known as a second dining hall for students, has given Asburyans the chance to catch up over meal times and throughout various times during the day.
I'm really excited for the new STUS to open because hopefully there will be another couch just like this, except in a more populated area, so I get to see more people and study more.
The university recently announced in an email that they are still unsure of the exact times the Student Center will be open for use, but have great hopes it will be available sometime this spring semester. I'm standing outside the newly renovated Student Center. While they're still a bit in the works, they have taken down the large fences, added some new sidewalks, and students are able to get a closer look at what is to come this spring semester. In Wilmore, I'm Rachel Law with Newswatch 3. The dedication has been recently set for March 3rd when students will hopefully have full access to the building.
The building will host the new Hiccup, SIPO, and Eagle outlet,
as well as giving students back the iconic hangout spot. One of SAC's recent campus events took over a popular spot on campus. Our live reporter Spencer Harvey is currently in the library, which may have looked a little different on Friday night. Hey Spencer.
Back to you guys.
Thanks Spencer. SAC has a lot of events throughout the rest of the semester, so keep an eye on your email for their latest student activity. Thanks, Asa, for the sports update. Now turning over to national news. One of the top stories surrounds the recent death of 29-year-old Tyree Nichols. Weekend protests continue following the release of the video showing the violent Memphis police beating that led to the death of Nichols. Demonstrators are calling for justice, while Nichols' family attorney is pushing for the president and Congress to pass federal police reform. CNN's Isabel Rosales has the latest.
All of these officers failed their oath. Look at that video. Was anybody trying to protect and serve Tyree Nichols?
Backlash continues across the country after the disturbing videos of the January 7th encounter were released on Friday, showing Memphis police officers beating Tyree Nichols, who died 3 days later. 5 of the officers involved, who are also black, were fired and charged in Nichols' death. The Memphis police chief has also permanently disbanded the Scorpion unit the officers were a part of, citing a cloud of dishonor.
I'd like to see a return to the old community-oriented policing, where the neighborhoods know the policemen.
Meanwhile, Nichols' family attorney Ben Crump says he believes all the officers will be convicted and more needs to be done.
Shame on us if we don't use his tragic death to finally get the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act passed.
Across the U.S., weekend protests continued, with demonstrators marching through a number of major cities, calling for justice and an end to abuses of authority.
We got swift justice in this case. We're not anti-police. We're anti-bad police, and this sets the precedence of what we need to see in communities going forward.
As for the 5 disgraced officers, they are out on bond and expected to be arraigned February 17th. I'm Isabel Rosales reporting.
Gathering in Memphis tomorrow at 10:30 for Nichols' funeral. While COVID is still present globally, for many, normal life has resumed. Students are back in classrooms, but now we may be seeing some of the consequences from that time online. A new study suggests school-age children worldwide lost out on more than a third of a year's worth of learning when COVID-19 caused schools to close. Researchers looked at data from 42 studies on learning progress during the pandemic in 15 different countries. Most of the studies were done from high and middle income countries and a few from low income ones. They found that learning deficits due to school closures were, quote, particularly pronounced from children from low socioeconomic backgrounds. The author said students have still not recovered from the setbacks and suggests that school districts take steps to add tutoring and learning time, such as summer programs or longer school years, in an effort to get them back on track. The paper was published Monday in the journal Nature Human Behavior. Well, we all know how hard it is to get that selfie.
That bear certainly seemed to figure it out, though.
Thank you all for tuning in to our first show today. We're so excited to be bringing you the news this semester.
Remember, we are your weekly campus news show, coming to you every Tuesday. We'll see you next week, Asbury.